Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are actually building this floor plan that I found on Pinterest in The Sims 4. As you can see here, I sort of already started with the floor plan. We are building in the world that comes with high school years, which is Copperdale. In this lot, there used to be, as you can see in the title, Thrift Tea there, the name of the location. So in my last video, I actually did an apartment renovation in San Myshuno where the floor plan was sort of open. The bedroom was attached to the living room and the kitchen was more closed off. And so when I was looking for inspiration for this build, I found this floor plan and it reminded me of the renovation that I did in San Myshuno. I think this is supposed to be for like an apartment, but I felt like it would be good to have as a house too. I honestly like to do small houses. I get really overwhelmed with bigger houses, so I thought it would be a good idea to make this a tiny house. And I actually don't know if it fits the tiny house square foot thing. I don't have tiny living, so I couldn't tell you, but I do think it should based on like just the size of the space. Yeah, and so the reason why I say I think this is for an apartment is because I put a door in the back, this big one at the front or this one on the side here. But in the picture, I think you can see that it is actually a window. So I think it's supposed to have like a balcony. But like I said, I just wanted to make this a house. And so as you can see here, I did use some wallpaper from Businesses and Hobbies, and the roofing as well is from Businesses and Hobbies. I could have gone a little bit more classic. I think the buildings around this apartment or this build are a little bit more traditional, but I really like these windows from Businesses and Hobbies. Sorry, I'm like blanking out. So I decided to use them anyways in this build and just sort of do a more modern take on this sort of build. It is going to be a house for a person, I assume, or it could be a couple, I don't know. So I thought it would be a good idea to do it this way. Now for the restroom, I realized that just looking at the floor plan, the restroom was actually a little bit smaller, so this is where I have to make the decision to make the house slightly smaller. And as you can see, I'm gonna like shrink everything a little bit. The reason why I thought it was gonna be like one block bigger is because in the floor plan you can see that there is actually like some wardrobes next to the bed, and if we did that, we weren't gonna have enough space for the Sims to walk through. So what I decided to do is just not to put any dressers there or any wardrobes, so I just put them on the side. So for the entryway area, this was actually a closet. I do decide to make it, slightly different from what the picture was showing us. So instead of making a closet here, I just put a little mirror with this shelf from Base Game. This mirror is from Businesses and Hobbies. And then I just put some clutter items here that I think are gonna go a long way into the inspiration for this build. I'm also using this flooring from Businesses and Hobbies that is in this bright reddish orange tone that I'm actually obsessed with. I think it goes really well with this construction. And I was playing off the red that is on the outside of the house. And then I found this wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle that I've been using honestly quite often in my builds. And it also has like this darker swatch with darker brown and darker reds that plays really well with the flooring again. So here in the entryway, I decided to put this little bird from the Modern Retreat kit, and I think that's going to play inspiration for the rest of the apartment, especially the colors that I put in here. I used a lot of blues and a lot of greens, and again, bringing in that darker burnt orange red into this apartment. In the floor plan, you can see the toilet is actually separated from the rest of the bathroom for some reason. So I decided to play with that as well. I really like these funky, strange layouts, and I thought it would be a good idea to play with that here in The Sims 4. And so the bathroom is going to be here, and I swear like every time I do a bathroom, I use this plant above the toilet. I just think it looks really nice in here, and it's kind of hard to find art sometimes that looks well above a toilet. So for the kitchen, I was sort of struggling with what fridge to use. I ended up deciding to use this one from the kitchen kitchen clutter kit. It is a little bit darker, and I think it also goes really well with the flooring and the colors aesthetics that we had going on in the entrance of the house. And then for the cabinets, I decided to use these from Dream Home Decorator in blue. I've never used these cabinets, but I think they look really cool in here. And then from Snowy Escape, I decided to use this green stove, which is honestly one of my favorites, and I often forget that it's in there. So as you can see, we have a pretty set color story for this apartment. So, and then I didn't really want to put upper cabinets. I just felt like it was too much. And I actually think the closet on the right hand side is supposed to be like a pantry, but I just end up making it like a closet. But in the meantime, I just decided to put some shelves in here. I think these are from the Cozy Kitsch Kit. And then I put some clutter from Garden to Table and Kitchen Clutter. I think I've really been in like a green and blue sort of color story lately. The other day, I also did a build that was heavily blue and green, or it was like an apartment reno. So I'll upload this to the channel shortly or in a few weeks, but I've been on that green and blue vibe, and it's just sort of interesting to see what kind of styles you can do when you're in a certain mood. Like I was making some cottage houses a while ago, and now I'm doing like these more modern green and blue apartments. So on this side in the floor plan, you can see that there's a dining table, and it's actually just like a 2-person dining table, but we have enough space here to put 4 chairs. So I decided to use this table that I think is from Businesses and Hobbies, and these chairs that are from High School Years in this really pretty green. I think it goes really well with all the colors that we have going on in this space. In the center, I just decided to put this bowl from this is from Lovestruck, and it comes in like a blue swatch, blue and white. So for the TV console here, I've been really obsessed with these cabinets from the Modern Retreat Kit. I've done it where I use the single cabinet on both sides of the wall, and then I put the middle one, like this one on the left hand side, I put in the middle so that the TV sits in the middle. But for some reason, I was really feeling this tall one on the right hand side, and I feel like the sofa, it's more on the left side, so technically I think it should work out okay. I don't think it should be too covered, but I mean, it's a Sims 4, it doesn't really matter. The Sims will still be able to watch TV. And so here I'm just cluttering up these cabinets with some things from the Modern Retreat Kit, Book Nook Kit. I'm honestly obsessed with this little basket from the Book Nook Kit, the one at the top with a black book in the middle. I think it's honestly super cute. I put this drink tray as well from I think it's also from the Modern Retreat Kit. And then I put this picture from Base Game here. And then I put some CDs because I did have like a radio. I put this thing at the top, but when we go to the first person point of view, you can actually see that it's floating. So if you guys download this house and it bothers you that it's floating, definitely use that little shelf to move it. I'm sorry about that. I didn't even realize that it was floating until I was rewatching the video for the thumbnail. So sorry about that. So here for the living room, I wanted to use this sofa. I thought I wanted to use this sofa. I wanted something a little bit that went with the vibe of this place. I do end up using this chair from the Modern Retreat Kit. This has honestly become one of my favorite chairs. I just wish it came in more colors, because it's really good. And you can see here the little closet that I made next to the kitchen. I just made it like a cleaning closet. I think the thing that I like about these Modern Retreat cabinets is that it's partially closed and partially open, so it gives the illusion that there is space to store things away, but you can also display things to make it look cool. I'm using this coffee table, which I would say is another one of my favorite coffee tables. This one from the Book Nook Kit. It's actually really short, and that's another thing I was saying in one of my videos recently. That coffee table from the Cozy Kitsch Kit is also really low, and so it lines up well with the sofas. There are a lot of coffee tables that are quite tall, and I don't know if the sofas quite meet that height requirement. oh my god, what is this? Am I like a ride at Six Flags? I don't know why it matters if the height requirement is right, but in my brain it just makes sense. Of course, I'm using the Most Perfect curtains from the Desert Luxe kit, and then I found this little desk from the Business and Hobbies pack, and honestly this office nook becomes one of my favorites. I think it's so cozy and the colors just make so much sense to me. It's one of my favorite like little desks areas I've done in a while. And then over on this side, in the picture, you can see they have like a storage. So I decided to use these closets from Businesses and Hobbies in black. I feel like it's important to incorporate black in builds. I feel like we often forget about it. But then you have like a black TV and the contrast is kind of harsh. So I think it's important to incorporate black in touches here and there throughout your build so that the black on the TV doesn't feel so harsh. For the bed, I ended up just going with this one from Business and Hobbies. It's just so cozy and perfect. Actually, no, I changed it to the one from Dream Home Decorator, I think, because I always use this bed from Business and Hobbies, and I think I end up changing it actually. I wanted to use this art piece from City Living, but it just looks too much like the elephant painting that we already have on top of the closet, so I ended up changing it to the one from the Refined Living Room kit. And I'm honestly obsessed with this lamp from the Modern Retreat kit. Like the textures on it just look so clean and so good. I wish we had more lamps that had this texture, as well as like the bed. I think it's also important to incorporate other colors. Like this rug is very red and it goes really well with the painting that we have on the wall. I think what I've realized in the last few months about interior decoration, it's like it's important to have weird things in your house. Especially like you don't want your place to just look like it belongs on Pinterest. In my opinion, that's something that I was always going for in my personal house, in my builds, and I feel like now I'm leaning towards more like unique things that make your space yours. And so I think this is a kind of cool representation of that, where you can see more unique items into every space and not make them all look the same, although I do use a lot of the same things all the time. For the bathroom, we had like a sink, and I think there's like a washer and dryer, and then they had an area for like a bath shower combo. So I decided to use this tub from Snowy Escape, which is honestly perfect. It goes super well with the flooring that we've been using outside. And then I used the wallpaper from the Sleek bathroom kit and the flooring from For Rent. And the sink in the bathroom is actually from Dream Home Decorator. So this is what our space is looking like. I'm honestly obsessed with this little house, and I hope you guys like it as well. Look how cozy it looks in here. I don't know if it belongs in this world, but maybe you can move it to Nordhaven and it would make more sense. Here we have our trash cans. I gave them a little bicycle. I put a tree. We have our outdoor area with a hot tub. I just think it's amazing. It's so cozy. Let me know what you guys think about this outside. So as we step into the house or the apartment, whatever you want to call this, we can see our long kitchen with our light dining room table. We have our little closets. Here we have our living room. It honestly looks super cozy. The roofing looks super weird. I don't know what's going on with the ceiling. And I do think I do pan up so you guys can see that. But I think it's just like all the colors that we're using. And then here we have the bedroom. Maybe I should have put something on that other wall, but I think it's fine. We have our little desk nook, and you can see the ceiling. I don't know why it looks so weird. Yeah, I think it's fine. And then here we have our little closet that I had shown you guys already, which I did more like cleanup closet. We have our single toilet. It's super cute, honestly. Our little entryway, which I almost forgot to show you guys when we walked in. And then we have our sink with our mirror, washer and dryer, and then our hot tub with the shower head. And I guess I'm going back to show you guys more. Here we have the outside. I didn't put a lot. Oh, this was before I put the pots and everything else, so sorry about that. And here we have our space. I honestly love it. Let me know what you guys think about this color combo. I think it looks really cozy, and I just want to lay on that sofa and watch TV on it, honestly. Let me know if you guys like to build smaller spaces down in the comments, or if you guys prefer, you know, a larger space. I get overwhelmed with larger spaces, and it's not necessarily my favorite. You can see here that thing is floating, so I am so sorry about that. These curtains from Snowy Escape are honestly super cool too. So this is where I'm gonna leave you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more content from my channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys.